Good morning, my friends. It's your old pal PeaceLoveMusic with another episode of the Let's Go Good Morning Stacks show, brought to you live by DeOrganized Media in partnership with our good friends at BitcoinLive, Decentralized Broadcasting. It is Friday morning, the 20th of December. We are pushing into the holidays, and it's a little bit rocky this morning in our ecosystem, and some people are a little bit concerned, not me, because I've been here a while and I know that these things are to be expected, and these corrections are actually healthy for the market. We actually need these things to happen in order to keep appreciating forward over time. The market's been in the extreme greed range for a couple weeks predominantly. So we're moving forward in that direction. Friendly reminder, this is a news show. We are providing information only. Always do your own research. Never invest money you cannot afford to lose. Do not base your investment decisions on my opinions. I'm not a financial advisor. I often get things wrong. But don't panic. Now is not the time to sell. Not financial advice, but you don't want to sell the bottom and buy the top. That's never a good strategy, in my humble, non-professional opinion. With that being said, the numbers are in this morning. Bitcoin hanging out around 93,581 as of about 20 minutes ago. Stacks holding on to $1.64, dropping down to number 49 by market cap on CoinMarketCap. The Fear and Greed Index has dropped down to 62. That's the lower range of greed, heading back to neutral. Again, this is healthy stuff for to cool off a little bit before we make another leg up, in my expectation. There are no top three gainers over the last 24 hours, but in the last hour, we do have a few gainers. Move, BitGet, AIOZ is all. Those are the top three gainers over the last hour, or at least they were. So the stacks calendar for the day. As always, we have our good morning show every morning, Monday through Friday, from 8:30 to 9:30 ish. At 11 a.m., we have the weekly sip call with Hero Gamer. At 2, we have the Trust Machine show, Good for Bitcoin. I think these times are a little off, actually, because I think well, maybe not. Is it 3 p.m. normally 3 p.m. for Stacks Africa Friday and 4 p.m. for Stacks Nigeria. I think Stacks Africa Friday is at 2 p.m. today because they're having me on today. But maybe I have that time wrong. So we'll double check. And then always at 5 p.m. we have the Purple Pill Friday with Dan and Brad. Great vibe there and great way to end the week. Finish the week strong. I do want to remind everybody, when you stack your STX, you earn Bitcoin. Tell your friends. That's really interesting stuff. As far as it's the main value behind stacks is how it's tied to Bitcoin and the proof of transfer process that allows for the security of the network, both for bridging in Bitcoin and for maintaining the Stacks network and the Bitcoin finality process. So make sure you're familiar with that. When you stack your stacks, you earn Bitcoin yield. That's a huge deal. It really is. Also want to shout out, guys, if you didn't know, when you hold on a second. I still got to work this process out. This is why I need if only there was somebody that could actually come in and maybe be a co-producer with me on here. We'll have to figure that one out. But my friends, if you weren't aware, and oh man, it's hard to manage multiple screens and read from one of them at the same time. And that's actually part of my issue here. But my friends, if you're into Bitcoin and you want to earn some yield on your Bitcoin, some solid yield, you have to check out Hermetica. They've got USDH. It's a Bitcoin-backed stablecoin that's not just stable, but earns up to 25% yield. Head on over to hermetica.fi, stake your USDH, and start earning immediately. It's that easy. Go check it out now. That's hermetica.fi. And we actually also have QR code right there. You can scan, head over there and check it out and start earning Bitcoin yield, earning yield on Bitcoin-backed stablecoin. Great stuff. Great stuff. Donald Trump holds nearly $7.5 million in crypto. That's his largest holding is Ethereum. That is bananas. I'm gonna apologize, guys. I'm a little laggy this morning. I should have done probably a hard restart before I went live. And I had just stuff I was working on here. There are now 20 companies that hold 1,000 or more Bitcoin. That's bananas. 20 companies now hold 1,000 or more Bitcoin. Elon Musk slams Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro. I'm surprised she's still in office. I wasn't aware. Haven't seen her or heard from her in a long time, but I don't really necessarily pay attention to that stuff anymore. He says the crazy lady with the purple hair is the top House Democrat in charge of spending taxpayer money. I don't know if it's the color of her hair that's really a problem, but some of the policies and actions she takes is really more problematic than her hair color. But yeah. Definitely deserving of some criticism. President-elect Trump says the United States will cut hundreds of billions of dollars in spending next year. That's probably well warranted, although, that's got to be done delicately, so as not to crash the economy while we're trying to exhibit some fiscal responsibility. SEC approves Hashdex Bitcoin and Ethereum crypto index ETF on NASDAQ. A judge sentences the falsely proclaimed Bitcoin creator Craig Wright to 1 year in prison, and that's actually my understanding is that he was held in contempt because he was determined by a court to absolutely not be Satoshi, and has been using that as a defense in court, and that's why he's been found in contempt. So. Yeah, it's never a good idea to lie in court, Craig. Senator Cynthia Lummis says she wants Congress to give the Federal Reserve authority to own Bitcoin. That would be cool, although they don't want it. But if we give them the authority, then they have to at least consider it. Haktua girl Haley Welch has been sued over her meme coin that crashed 95% hours after launch. I feel bad. I don't think she probably was very wrongly misadvised. I doubt she had any idea what was going on, but she's probably going to be in some serious trouble over that. Friendly advice: don't set up rugs for people. Amazon workers officially begin nationwide strike, which is why you cannot order anything and have it delivered by Christmas now. That plus it's only like 5 days away. But it's the largest strike against Amazon in U.S. history. And, those guys work. I see the same guys. It's almost like they're the new mail service, and they should be paid accordingly and paid properly. But consumers don't want to pay for shipping. So a little bit of a conundrum. SBTC is now live. The long-awaited SBTC launch is finally here, arriving with Bitcoin block 875,000 or 875,000. Many outside of Stacks are wondering why SBTC. Well, there's a few reasons. One, Bitcoin finality. Transactions are as irreversible as on Bitcoin. It's secure, backed by Bitcoin itself via proof of transfer, which we were just talking about earlier. You can also earn Bitcoin while you're stacking your stacks. Tell your friends. Programmable. You got smart contract predictability and clarity, pun intended, and opportunity. You can tap into a $1 trillion economy into DeFi. So yes, SBTC is just an amazing accomplishment. I'm not sure what the number is. I haven't looked since early yesterday, where we were well over halfway to the maximum threshold in the ecosystem for the SBTC. It's limited to 1,000 BTC in the early stages, and that will obviously wane over time as it deploys and the ecosystem grows around it. But definitely, I think there's more total value locked in stacks than ever before, and now is a great time to start accumulating some stacks. With the BTC launch now live, don't miss Surge 2 campaign on Alex. Rewards have been doubled to 2 million Alex for the Surge and for the Surge liquidity providers. Some of the best yields on stacks are for SBTC, and meme coins will be found on the Alex Surge. So be sure to check it out at app.alexlab.co/surge, and that QR code right there will bring you over to that page. Check out DeOrganized.media. If you haven't been, go check it out. Trippin' Monkey's been building some really cool stuff out for us, and every day there's more functionality and more things coming. I can't say enough things about the dude. Actually, he's been killing it for us. But you can now find the schedule for all of your favorite DeOrganized shows and community X spaces, and info for show hosts, all in one easy to navigate platform. Yesterday he had tip functionality, so you can. I'm not asking for tips, but if you were so inclined to give me an attaboy or Jack or GPSC or one of the guys that are regular hosts for their shows, you can do that now right through DeOrganized. And you can also go over there, set up your own basic user account with a simple, secure Stack signature connection, and more and more functionality is going to be built out over there. So we're really excited about it. Check it out, DeOrganized.media. Zero Authority DAO has crushed it in 2024 with 131 gigs and 100 bounties completed at zeroauthority.xyz. There are currently 5 active bounties on ZA, including bounties for Flat Earth, GPSC, Wrap Nothing, Factory or Fact.fun. That's Rafa's new thing. And Moon Labs. Head over to zeroauthority.xyz. Participate in some bounties and gigs and help support our ecosystem while earning some stacks and stack SIP10 tokens. I love that development over there, by the way. What they're doing at Zero Authority is so cool. Are you interested in helping builders and devs test out their projects on stacks? We are building a tester QA community. DM me at PeaceLoveMusic on X if you're interested. It's a really great group. The latest things we've been poking around with our Rafa's Factory.fun. We've been poking around on there. We did some stuff for the Bitflow AMM. We did some testing out for them. We did some stuff for Skullcoin, which is actually something else coming up, and I'm going to tell you about in a minute. Really cool stuff going on there. So if you're interested, let me know. We'll add you to that group. And if you're a dev and you're building and you're looking for testers to come poke buttons and try stuff out on your platform, beta version or whatever, join us. You know, we have a group of people looking to poke buttons for you and give you some user feedback, which I think is very helpful for our community. Tacovasion Feel Good Friday. Who are you nominating for a Tacovasion award today? Head over to the @Stacks link page on X, and you can nominate a Stacks community hero for a taco award. It's good, make you feel good, make them feel good to recognize what they've done to help you out in the ecosystem. And I think that's about it for the day. We've talked about the Runes AMM on Bitflow. We do have the call at 11 a.m. today. Probably going to be more casual, regular SIP than the regular SIP calls heading into the holidays. And partly because if you haven't heard, Skullcoin's Play to Earn on-chain version is launching today, live on DeOrganized at 10 a.m. Eastern time today. Zenatron's going to come on. We're going to walk through the game. We got some other guests coming on. I think GPSC, Good Kitty, a couple of other people I think are coming on to join us and chat with him about that. So stay tuned after the show and come check it out. We're super excited about all that stuff going on today. Good morning, Freddie. I'm looking forward to being on your show later today. I'm sorry if I got the time wrong, but I'll be there either at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern time. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Vipe Red? How are you today, man? Good morning. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on, we got some great guests this morning. As always, I got my good friend Jack Binswitch in the house on Fridays. How are you, Jack?
Loving it, man. Loving every second of it.
GPSC in the house. Good morning, my brother.
Good morning. Doing good.
And we got DeFi poet Hadan in the house. What's up, man? How are you today?
How's it going, guys? GM. Happy to be here.
Right on. Yeah, so how are you guys feeling about the price action today?
I don't care. Nothing.
Spoken like a true legend.
Like who gives a shit, man? If you've been paying attention, you're still in profit. Like seriously. Like if you've got good ordinals, are you underwater in any of your ordinals right now? I'm not. If you've been buying STX, if you've been buying Bitcoin, are you underwater? Absolutely not. This has got for people who just got into space. Welcome to crypto. This is the Thunderdome. But I mean, if you've been here a minute, this is nothing. Like I thank God we get a little break going into the holidays. You know.
Yeah, I think it's I actually was expecting this correction to come because I've noticed the viewership and general activity, people participating in spaces, people tuning into the shows. It's just all down a little bit. And part of it's because the trade action has been crazy. We were running up. And so people aren't being able to pay attention to other stuff because they're watching the numbers. And then part of it is, you're right. We got the holiday seasons. It's time for a wind down. Everyone's catching a breath. And the market needs to do that too. It needs to. This is a very healthy correction for continuation. We don't want the blow off top yet. We're not ready for that. We're not there yet. So I think this is well timed, to be honest.
Yeah, the cynic in me says that BlackRock and company are just not going to make it that easy for the new people who finally understand they need Bitcoin.
No, they'll never, and they never will, and they shouldn't. That's.
This is a good example because to TradFi, even Bitcoin is considered a risk asset still. So if your meme coin is down right now, no shit, it's going to be down because if Bitcoin is considered a meme asset and everything's in the red on the macro, obviously your meme coin's going to go down. Everything's all right. Just be cool, be comfortable, enjoy, touch some grass, and we'll resume up only when the market says so. But that's coming. You're going into the most bullish conditions that we've ever had as an industry since any of us have ever been in this industry. Like, let's keep it in proper perspective here. Yeah,
100%, man. It's unless you were looking to sell and you were just waiting for the right time. Well, guess what? If you were waiting to sell a couple weeks ago, it was the right time. It was clearly, if you've been waiting, and if you haven't been waiting to sell, there's nothing to worry about. You're just going to hold through anyway. That's where it goes. So
people have to get disavow themselves of this idea that they're going to get rich quick in crypto. Like, that's like going to buy a lottery ticket and hitting the lottery. Like, it's just might be just slightly better than that, but they're not much better than that in reality. If you're here, learn. That's your job. Get what you can and learn as you go, and that's what you should be concerned with. Not getting rich quick.
The goal should be to get rich slow, not get rich quick. That's the way to do it. And you put the work in.
I took my nephew to the park yesterday, right? And I ran into a good old buddy from high school, and he's like, "Hey, man, what do you do nowadays?" And then I said Web3, and his eyes lit up like a candle. and he whipped his phone right out and he's excited and he's like, hey man, I got this and this, and he's got one of Jack's favorites. He's got XRP. So one of those things, man. I'm preaching the Web3 gospel to him and telling him about decentralization and how having things tethered to Bitcoin is probably the next play, and your next buying opportunities right around the corner. So, I think that word stands well. I think that everybody that has paper hands is going to get shook up a little bit, chopped up in the blender, but it's all right. This is, like you said, needed. And he was asking me like, well, hey, do I sell now? And I'm like, man, that's what BlackRock wants you to do. As soon as I said that, he's like, oh, okay. I saw a sense of relief, and I was like, I'm not your financial advisor. Always do your own research, but you're earlier than most, and that's what matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because unless you need the money today, now is not the time to sell.
Yeah, it reminds me a bit when I was at Goldman, they had the kind of saying, it's good to be long-term greedy, but not short-term greedy. And, given that they have like over 100 years of a good record of making money, they probably know a thing or two about that. So I think that kind of applies to crypto. And I like that sort of description that Bitcoin's a mechanism for transferring money from impatient people to patient people. So I think people here, holding long term and who are familiar with the tech and have that thesis are the ones comfortable with this kind of short term down movement. And the ones purely here for speculation are the ones kind of panicking a bit. But yeah, if you're in here for the tech, and you realize that the superior technology inevitably takes over, then these are just like speed bumps along the way, and you just shake them off.
Right. When you have unrealistic expectations is when you get burned. You're not going to get, if you're looking to double your money in the matter of a short time frame window, you're likely going to lose your money.
Here's the reality. What do you sell your Bitcoin for? Like, what's the asset you sell it for that's more valuable? The only thing that even comes remotely close is time.
SBT.
Right? Right? Why? So I mean, if you're in the space and you're interested in Bitcoin, you realize what do I sell it for? And I mean, Bitcoin is the currency of time. It's currency of time and energy. It's perfect money. You don't need to try to double your fiat. Guess what? That screw fiat. That's why we're here. That purple-haired Muppet in Congress, that's fiat. The Federal Reserve, that's fiat. Like, I don't want the Federal Reserve to own any Bitcoin. I want the Federal Reserve to become a memory. Like, if we want a better world, we don't want more of the same. Right, and Hadan is right. Superior technology wins out, and you're seeing that play out right now in America's political context. Right, you're getting ready to pass a 1,500-page bill that Americans don't want. Right, and then superior tech shows everybody, and it's like, oh wait, now we have to unleash the Muppets because everyone's butthurt.
Well, but the bill's been changed.
Right,
The bill's been stripped down.
We don't want the bill that just funds the government, though. We want to buy lipstick for pigs or whatever the shit nonsense that these idiots have to waste our tax dollars on.
Right, but the novel piece to this is that there's been a response where this isn't a new thing with the pork in all these bills and this legislation.
No, that's business as usual.
But the new thing is that public outcry actually resulted in a drastic change to what's being proposed. I've never seen anything like that before.
And that's the thing. What enabled that? That enabled communication, superior communication, aka technology, and then AI as well. When now you can take an AI and have the summary of a 1,500-page bill in a matter of minutes. This is what Hadan says is playing out in real time, and the old guard just doesn't really know how to respond to it, right? And this is a good thing. So more of this going forward. And if you're into crypto, if you're into Bitcoin, that's like the fundamental reason why you're really here, even if you don't understand it yet. Because the most peaceful thing you can do to speak out against the status quo is own Bitcoin, and the status quo sucks. So get more Bitcoin.
I bought a little bit more Bitcoin this morning. I bought some more stacks this morning too. That's where the price action is right now. It's a buy day. It's not, well,
you
buy
low, sell high. People have the hardest time with that part. Think this stuff's easy. It's really not. It's an emotional game.
I do want to shout out a couple more. Thon Dave gives mad props to Jack. How cool you are, and says hi to the rest of us as well. What's up, Dave? And Bowler Pick says hello. LMNO, what's up, man? And that's right. Dave says they're calling it the Musk Johnson bill, but somebody, Rand Paul suggested something yesterday. I didn't put it in the news, but he was suggesting making Elon Musk Speaker of the House.
No.
Could you imagine?
Speaking of that, Dave is the best space host in the industry, like by far. Like,
made me call him the god of spaces on one of my live
if we were in the golden age of radio, like he would be like the top radio host in the nation. Like he's just made for this stuff,
Yeah, he's a tremendous value to our space, all the spaces, and I don't know how he hosts so many spaces. It's exhausting.
He takes something that looks hard and makes it look easy, and that's what legends are made of.
And we got a first-time listener, DisparateBits.btc. What's up? Welcome to the morning show.
Yeah, it's always cool whenever we get new listeners, new faces jumping in to figure out what's going on in the stacks and Bitcoin realm, man. Welcome.
No, it's true. Like this. Look, when people come here, people should be learning as much as they can, and DeOrganized in and of itself is a fantastic place to catch up to speed, and begin, because the learning curve is going to get knocked down a lot, especially as AI gets more advanced. But man, just come learn. You're doing the right thing. This is it's a slow day. It's the best time to just figure out what's all going on and what to be on the lookout for.
For sure. And I want to give a shout out to one of the guys on stage right now, GPSC. He's actually going to be a new firm addition to the morning show. He's going to be on with us every day, and he's actually going to help with learning some of the production side of things, take some of the weight off, so I don't fumble through trying to do a readout and doing a screen share at the same time, maybe, and make that a little bit more professional looking, and some of that stuff, and help pick up some of the load. Maybe if I can't do a show, or I can't, if I can't run one of the other shows, maybe he can even pick that stuff up. So shout out GP.
Yeah, no, it's DeOrganized.
Yeah, dude, I'm excited.
No, congratulations, man. Like, Peace needs some time off. I mean, it's only a legend that he's a machine. Pretty sure he's still mortal.
Oh, well, now we're getting...
Yeah, dude, like...
what is
whenever you got your start...
machines, right? Say that again.
Whenever you got your start, like, I didn't expect it to, like, just take off the way it did. I thought it would be more of a slow burn, right? And we have over 100 users that like tune in every day to get the alpha from DeOrganized, and that's it. And then we hosted the election space. You had over 10,000 viewers, concurrent viewers at one time. These metrics like show you that you're working in the right direction.
Some of our more,
I'm more than happy.
Yeah, some of our more popular shows. The election coverage was an anomaly because we went for very long. It was great that we got that. It was a great show. there was a ton of people. We had a constant rotation of 10 guests, live streaming and stuff. It was great. Don't get me wrong, but even some of our just regular shows, like for instance, when we had Shonda on, we got over 500. The first time we had Staxy on, we had like 500-600 viewers. We get oftentimes, like even right now, a slow Friday heading a bear day, red day Friday morning, we're over 100 viewers watching us right now. So I mean, it's you're right. I wasn't expecting it to be all of this too. I was really just playing around, not playing around, but just I had access to the studio. We were just doing a bi-weekly show to augment the spaces and cover the D grants people, and turns out that this is we are providing some value for the community here, and now with other people joining us, Trip helping. I don't want to forget to mention Hattie, because he's been instrumental in building this out with us as well, and Jack and a bunch of other people, even Hadan supporting us, and I mean we have a great community. There's so many people, even like the guys coming in chatting, LMNO, Dave saying hi, and both like Freddie. We have a great there's a huge community here, and that's why this has been successful, is because everyone's been supporting and participating, and this is nothing without guests and content and viewers. So yeah, man, it wasn't what I was expecting, but and now with what Trip's doing, I mean, what we see the DeOrganized.media site being is more of something for almost like a hub for content creators, and we can kind of integrate tools, like maybe we'll be able to integrate Restream, and they can access it through DeOrganized, and we can integrate the V2 that on Seigel that Leo's building with an API, and then people can write articles right through their DeOrganized platform, and they can access their gated page and do some gated content, and kind of working with their communities and functionality we're building out. It started out as a scheduler page, but Trip's been building out some really cool stuff, and we're just very fortunate to have been lined up where what he's building lines up with some of the stuff we can do, and then he just took it upon himself to start building out a website for us. So it's all just collaborative.
Good crypto media has been a play for so long, because most of it is just utter garbage. So this is so promising, and it's obvious why it's succeeding, and it's going to get a lot bigger, because this is a hole that needs to be fed. Like, who the shit needs to hear about whatever some asshole host just got paid to talk about that day, when you could have been early on it 6 months ago, but now you have to learn about it at the top? You know what I'm saying? That's like traditional crypto media in a nutshell. So
and there's
what
so
you're
much
doing here is better.
There's so much happening all the time. I don't even get all the stories. That's actually one of the other reasons why GPSC was a no-brainer choice to bring in, because he's always in all the spaces and he's always in all the groups. So he has the alpha and he has the information. So number one, right off the bat, he's going to help me kind of be more comprehensive in the Stacks news, getting more of the details on what's going on in the ecosystem there out as well.
You want some alpha? The first, you talked about Hermetica earlier. Runes is the first Bitcoin rune that has a stablecoin pair backed by Bitcoin. There's some alpha. Like, how many people know that? Well,
that's on. So runes. That's on. Where is that?
That's on Bitflow right now.
On Bitflow.
Yeah.
You can pair your runes, runes with USDH.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it PUSDH or USDH?
Yeah, whenever something comes from the Bitcoin to the stack side, it gets that designation of P, but it's still the same asset. It's just how it's
right.
expressed.
It designates right. Just so many crazy things going on in this space, man. It's bananas. And Alex has some cool rune stuff going on as well. With you guys got the dog coin and stuff going on there.
Yeah. I think we have about like a handful of runes, like dogs, pups, tanuki. Yeah, like dogs actually, I think placed in number 4 in the last surge round. So
Oh my! I don't.
So yeah, you could have
that's
submitted liquidity with ABTC dog, and I think the APR was like over 100% for that pool too. So not bad for a 28-day hold. But yeah, the surge campaign is about just creating those sorts of fun opportunities, and especially to encourage LP holding, because that's really the backbone of DeFi. Without having a centralized entity, it's about realizing that you, as the LP holder, you're the sort of lifeblood of facilitating this entire decentralized financial system. So this is a way to kind of break the ice, get people started with like some really attractive yields and fun opportunities. And if they have a good experience with that, then they're likely to be LP holders, on Alex pools and Valar pools. They're likely to participate on DeFi, on Zest, or other protocols, Stacking, DAO, Lisa, etc.
Are you familiar with? So there's a couple of different ones actually. Rosar on Charisma has launched permissionless liquidity pools, and he's created a SIP proposal to kind of standardize that. And actually, it's kind of similar to what Joey's doing with the not permissionless. It's self-custodial DEX, which is kind of the same thing, though, right? You're creating a liquidity pool. That's it's wild. It's hard for me to kind of wrap my head around, like, how are all we got these all little tiny little liquidity pools, and how does that work? But is that going to be aggregated? Like, is Alex going to see stuff like? How's that going to work? Even know.
Well, I think inevitably you'll see aggregation, because you already see that when people go to like Bitflow to trade, right? It's an aggregator of
Right.
what the best trades are across Alex or Valar or StackSwap. So so I think with all these smaller pools, you'll get probably the greatest utility through an aggregator. Because the more separate pools there are, the more potential arbitrage opportunities that exist, right? You get this like sharp move in the market, and maybe that's been picked up by someone trading on Alex or Valar, but there might be another smaller pool that's lagging. And if you can kind of like spot that, then that can make a pretty big difference in where you trade or execute at. So I think there's pros and cons. One, you have that opportunity there. But you have to weigh it maybe against what the slippage is, right? Because the sort of smaller the depth of liquidity of a pool,
Right.
The more slippage that you might have, actually executing a large volume trade. So I think it's a bit of a game theory of pros and cons. But I think anything that's in favor of innovation and experimentation, I think we should try it out. And if it works, we all adopt it. And if we don't, I don't think any of us are all the worse for having tried it. So I think that's how we learn and get better, is by, trying new and fun things. So I encourage it. Yeah, for sure.
100%. You have to experiment, because there's no limits yet. There might not ever be a limit in this industry. And to Hadan's point, like when you're talking about, I think what you're going to see coming up, because Runes really has a great narrative in general, but there's no liquidity. So when you start seeing liquidity pile up in Runes on stacks, and I know there's some other protocols on the L1 trying to create their own version of AMMs and so forth to try to do this, but the liquidity move right now with Runes is what's really going to push it forward, because who cares about a tier 1 exchange? It'd be nice if you got it, right? But who says you're going to get it? The alpha is always on chain, and the people are going to go where liquidity's at. So if Runes are the alpha and you have to get them on chain, you're going to go for the more liquid preparing. That's why I'm very bullish on the idea of runes on stacks in general, because I think we have a first mover advantage. We've got a much more secure infrastructure. Like when I have, I've got several teams like reaching out, wanting to list runes on their AMM and so forth, and I'm like, I have to research. I've got to get this to someone smarter than me and be like, look at this code, make sure this is straight. But with stacks, it's a little bit different. We're sitting here with the security of Bitcoin. Okay, stacks is as secure as a blockchain as you could possibly want, right? So, but the liquidity play, I think we're going to see that happen on stacks for runes more so than anywhere else, and I think it's a huge unlock. And I think that the timing with SBTC could not be more perfect. Everyone wants everything right now, and they wanted it actually yesterday. But when you have to step back and look at the big picture. Small blockchain, still relatively unknown, still very young, but building, right? And so when you start seeing certain things that can really move the needle, SBTC obviously moves the needle. And then being able to take assets off the L1 and trade them with liquidity, trade them with reward contracts, being able to do things where LPs can be, rewarded for, locking up their funds and taking the risk of impermanent loss. Like, this is the way forward. So I'm super bullish on that.
Yeah,
No.
absolutely. I think it's like Hadan said too. It's any kind of innovation that might move us forward, we should try it, right? As long as it's not going to be dangerous necessarily. I don't see this being dangerous, although I mean it could obviously take it with your own. You're putting yourself out there risk wise if you're setting up your own liquidity pool, right? There's definitely some cons there. You can lose some money. So it's not necessarily for everybody. If you don't know what you're doing, you probably shouldn't set up a liquidity pool for yourself. But I think these options and the capacity to do these things, and then what could build out as far as like a standardization process where we can aggregate the pools, and now we have this huge, broader amount of liquidity in the ecosystem than any one DEX has. Basically it kind of it aggregates all of the liquidity in the ecosystem, which really should make it just much more robust as far as price security, price stability, and that kind of thing too. So I think I agree that it's an amazing idea, and very interested to see how it iterates and implements.
No, it's going to be interesting to see how AI, because AI is going to abstract away a lot of what we do every day in crypto anyway. So that's part of that learning curve disappearing, right? Like when you're sitting here, your AI is going to find the most efficient things to do when it's trying to do something on your behalf or your requests and information to figure out what to do. It'll find the best ways to do it. So it's going to make everything more efficient anyway. So all experimentation is going to have to take place, with that expectation in mind at the end of the day, because that's just the thing. We're going to be sitting here letting our magic internet money be, utilized and used by, AI programs. That's happening now, in the very beginning stages. And I think that much like DeFi, the way it changed crypto and our perception of it, AI is doing the same thing now, except it's going to do it on a much faster timeline. I think that's what I'm anticipating anyway.
Yeah. I think a major transition that we should like really want to see is that, I mean, if you look at the trading volume of Bitcoin daily, it's trading even like on a slow day, like $30-40 billion a day. But all that trading volume, 99% of it is occurring on centralized exchanges. So it's like just as a starting point, we want that trading volume to move from sexes to dexes. And, and I think as one of those legs is that if you do have these AI agents you're starting to abstract away all those kind of friction points that have kept users from using dexes as fluently as they do centralized exchanges. And so there, we still have a little bit of that cultural battle. But I think as awareness of what DeFi has to have offers, and particularly since AI, it's in a way smarter in that sense. It isn't as bound by these older paradigms to see that you have these equal opportunities on decentralized finance. You have, I think, a greater shift of that mass amount of volumes from centralized to decentralized platforms. And that's really what we want to see, what we want to work at, what we want to abstract. Like this week, actually, Alex, we just started implementing sponsored transactions, meaning that like you can pay for a transaction on Stacks without having to have Stacks token. And so, yeah, so like just there as a starting point, like if you send a friend of yours, like RuCoin, before you would have to send them Ru, you'd have to send them Stacks as well. Otherwise, they can't do anything with it. Now, if they're able to go and do their first transaction on Stacks and use Ru also as the gas token to pay for it, you're making it that much easier. And, as anyone who's worked in Web 2 in terms of user conversion or, the more friction points you take away, the less steps there are for a user to do what they want to do, the more retention you have, like the stickier an app is. And that's how you build this kind of culture of these like high frequency and committed, DeFi and decentralized users.
Yeah, and that is where, so I know a lot of people are calling for this to be the super cycle, and I think it's going to be a really good cycle because we do have, or very apparently it looks like we have mass institutional adoption into Bitcoin and crypto right now happening. But the retail adoption is going to take more time because it's still too hard. There are too many friction points. The apps are complicated. We have to get past 12-word, 24-word seed phrases. So it's probably not until next cycle. We're not probably going to really experience that account abstraction and it really just, I open up the app on my phone, it just works. I don't need to know how Bitcoin works, how liquidity pools work, and how all of that stuff functions. That's where we're working towards. So we're still, with that being said, we're still very early. We're just witnessing the real tip of institutional adoption here. So anyone that's not prepared to diamond hand for another 4 to 5 years, plan accordingly.
But again, what do you sell your Bitcoin for? Like that's the part people have to wrap their minds around. Well,
eventually, right? If you do it right, you should never sell your Bitcoin. And if you really do need to, you finance it. You borrow against it. And over time, it should continue to appreciate. So you just, that's how the wealthy have been doing it for a long time. They borrow against their assets. They don't sell their assets and have a taxable event. You borrow against your assets and then, do it that way. Now you have to accumulate enough assets to be able to make that happen. So selling Bitcoin prevents you from doing that.
That is the beautiful part about SBTC, because all of that infrastructure that you're talking about right there, that's just DeFi. That's what DeFi is. And now you can level up DeFi with programmable Bitcoin. That's the best version of that that's ever been released upon the world. So super bullish, man. I mean, it truly is. It's a great time to be here. I know we want to be impatient. I know we want everything when we want it, but that's just not how life works, But a lot of cool work's been done and a lot of innovations been achieved, and now you're just ready for the whole next level of innovation.
Right. Like
building shoulder of giants.
we're getting. I do have a kind of a hard stop at 9:30 because we have a special event at 10 a.m. For the launch of the Skullcoin Play to Earn piece on chain for Zenitron Skullcoin, which is super awesome. And actually, the reason I'm bringing that up partly, well, to remind everybody we have a hard stop at 9:30 or let everyone know, but also, like, are you guys familiar with the process where this whole thing's actually about? It's not so much about the play to earn piece, which is really fun and cool and interesting, but it's the encrypted NFTs piece that's really kind of innovative there, where you have NFTs that have different levels of information depending on where you're accessing them, and what kind of applications might actually be used for that technology down the line too. Like with, I know the Stacks Invaders are programmable NFTs, right? So you guys might even be able to add an encrypted layer down the line and integrate that into some way.
No, dude. Like everyone who screams, "This is dead. NFTs are dead. Meme coins are dead. Bitcoin's dead." That it's nonsense. Like, there's NFTs are a fantastic way to demonstrate ownership baseline, right? And then, but from there, you have more things you can do. So when you see something like Skullcoin, and as hard as they've been working for so long, like, I'm gonna buy as many of those as I can afford, right? Like, because you're there. Just like with Screen Fiends that just released, same thing.
Right.
Like, not just the NFT is art, the whole entire project's art. Like, that's wild. Like, you're looking at how you're going to consume art in the future more than likely. Hollywood, that's fiat. Okay, you think about that as fiat land. The best entertainment is going to be made by just regular people, much cheaper, using AI, and you're going to own this art via NFT, and you're going to be able to trade it. No more like logging into Amazon and hoping that the movie you bought last year is still available because of some licensing deal between Amazon and Sony or whomever, right? Like, this is yours. This is your art. This is your movie. This is your song. This is whatever. Like, it's the future in real time, man.
Right. Well, but it can also be your access key. If you own this NFT and you supported the project, you get access to this gated content, or this event, or you get access to just discount on a merch store. Or there's so many things you can do with this once we have that.
The DeOrganized NFT to give gated access to watch Doc get his Rue tramp stamp.
Yes. No, we're making that public. That's too good. That's too good. We don't want to lose the viewership on that one. Well, I don't know. We'll see. How much do you think we can sell those for? We'll talk. We'll plan that out. That's great. Speaking of Doc, we gave our 30 whitelists for the Degen Girl mint. That's going to be the first mint on Boom Wallet as soon as Dan launches Boom Wallet. So pay attention. I think that's coming soon. I'm not sure. I know Doc's ready to go. I also know Dan's just happy to take his time. So I hope Doc is patient. but I'm really excited about that. We did. I'm not sure who the 5. I left it up to Doc to pick the 5 free mint winners. But it's a mint. It's a 1 stacks mint. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, one way or another, we're going to do a live event for that tattoo situation.
Yeah. No, this is fun, man. Like, Pete, this is what I'm saying. Enjoy your holidays. Don't look at the charts if you don't have to. Just, take a step back. The industry itself has never been in a more bullish situation since any of us have been in it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Take a step back, breathe. Like, this is cool.
Wow.
Like, you wanna turn coal into diamonds via your rectum. Watch, be paying attention when Bitcoin dropped down to 3,000 with the COVID crash. Like, that was the first time in this space I was ever like, oh crap, like this is getting real, right? Like,
And they gave us all that stimulus money.
Yeah. But then again, you buy the dip and then you win. But so just chill. Like we're in a great place. Like seriously, could not be more happy.
I agree, man.
Absolutely.
I agree. Well, this has been always a pleasure, gentlemen. All three of you make a great show. Hadan, thanks for joining us today. Jack, every Friday, as long as you're not too sleepy from all the degen the night before. And GPS, I'm super happy to have you with us on the reg now.
Thanks for having me, man.
You guys have any last words before we wrap? I'd like to give everyone a chance to say whatever.
It's a season for giving, man. So like, put some love in your heart, get rid of some of that fear, and help make the world a better place. That's all I got.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess in that same spirit, Jack, it's like be grateful that you know that this space, that this technology exists in the first place, because just knowing about it already puts you ahead of like 95% of the population. So, just being a part of this community, knowing that this is live, you're lucky because you are so early. So yeah, for sure. Just carry that into the holidays and into 2025, and let's kick ass in this year to come.
Right on. Let's kick some ass, GP.
Yeah, man. We're the trailblazers, guys. This is what it feels like to be early. It gets a little bit volatile, and we're all moving the needle in the right direction. So just remember to keep love in the room, keep your frequency high, and keep your head down, keep building. That's all we can do.
Right on, right on. You guys all have a blessed weekend. And if I don't get a chance to chat with you again, happy Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I'm sure I'll talk to probably all of you before the new year. But thank you guys all for joining me today. I am PeaceLoveMusic. We are DeOrganized Media, coming at you live on BitcoinLive, Decentralized Broadcasting. Happy Friday, y'all. Check us out at 10. Just in a little while, about a half an hour, we got Zenitron coming on the to talk to us about Skullcoin and the new play to earn feature launching on the Stacks mainnet today. We're super excited about that. And also, we will have a low-key SIP call at 11 a.m., but it's just going to be kind of more of like a Christmassy hangout. And support your ecosystem. And then remember to take a break and catch a rest. Touch some grass, get some, and we'll see you all back on Monday. Peace out.